Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to that Kentuckessee Angler Show. Today we're fishing for whatever is biting. I haven't fished this area in this colder weather yet. I don't know if it's going to be a viable option for me this winter or what species are going to be present, biting, so on and so forth. I wanted to give it a shot. I wanted to try out, risk it for the biscuit. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but you never know unless you try. So there's like nobody here right now. I don't know if that's a sign that fish just aren't going to be biting in this area this time of year, or if we really lucked out, but our water levels are crazy low, and I don't think that's going to be a bad thing. So I brought a wide variety of baits with me out here, but we're going to be starting out with that rattle trap. I wanted to cover all my bases today. I don't know what we're in for exactly. Uncertain times, my friends. Interesting color here. I got these on sale at Academy, so they were like $3 and some change. I went ahead and bought like 6 of them. That's a pretty good deal for a Bill Lewis. I'm hoping these rattles are the ticket right now. Bring a little bit of attention to my bait, but we are going to cycle through what I have with me today. A lot of leaves. So I just had a follower, probably about 1.5 pounds, chase me up like right in front of me, and it didn't look like he was trying to strike my trap exactly, but he was definitely checking it out. That's a good sign that they're here and they're not in some kind of untouchable area I can't get to, or that sort of deal, which is what usually kind of sucks away my confidence when I don't think there are fish in the area and I'm just, oh, there we go. That's a nice one, dude. That is a nice one. That's a right on, man, right on. That's a fatty. Thank you, Bill Lewis. Let's see how bad he choked that. Not too bad. We're not in the gills, but I am going to use a pair of pliers to get that out. Actually, yeah. Well, here we go, guys. First fish of the day. Caught her within, I'd say, 20 minutes if I was going to estimate. Beautiful, well-fed, chunky largemouth. We'll get her back in. That's a really, really good sign for me today. It's kind of what I needed to bring my spirits up and give me some confidence in this water. Kind of what I was touching on before is I really don't know what to expect here, but this is a very, very good sign. We'll get her back in. Let's keep going at it. I got some time out here today, so I'd like to catch, I don't know, maybe a couple more of you guys. That would be pretty awesome. All right, thanks for biting, girl. Man, she's off. So it's turned out to be a pretty tough day out here. I caught that one fish. I've been working this area hard for nearly 2 hours now, jumping from spot to spot. So just beyond this like dock out here, there's a point that juts out and the bottom structure is a little different. I haven't caught a fish out of there. I have tried on multiple occasions, but it is a bit more rocky. It could be holding heat. I don't know, it's worth a shot. Otherwise, I'm gonna see you guys at another spot. We'll make a bigger jump and try to get these fish on today. So here's a look at the other side of what we're gonna fish right now. Now I have fished this area very, very briefly. I actually wasn't able to get this far out because the water was so high, but it's very rocky, as you can see, very gravelly, more so than that other side. This cover though, it looks good, man. It's super snaggy here too. We're gonna start out kind of fluking around. We're gonna ninja this stuff real quick. I have a boatload of these with me, so losing one isn't gonna break the bank. Rattle traps, that's another story, man. Maybe we can pull something off this timber. Oh, that's a nice fish. That's a really nice one. I can't tell if it's just fighting me weird right now or what. Oh yeah, I'm so glad I decided not to leave. There we go. Oh, it's a drum. Freshwater drum. What's up, buddy? Decent sized one, pretty fish. It's something. Man, you are frigid. People call them croakers. People call them gaspergoos. I call them freshwater drum. Thanks for biting, buddy. Yeah, you figured it out. Another reason I haven't fished this area much, last time I was here, I saw a boatload of snakes. Most of those are common water snakes in this area, but we do have a healthy copperhead population. It's worth being cautious. So this is part 2 of our video. Now that cold front moved through and it just messed things up, man. It made this bite incredibly difficult. I put some good time on the water trying to complete this video yesterday. The only fish I could manage were skipjack herring, which are just kind of the low-hanging fruit of the Cumberland. I don't really want to make a video focused on skipjack herring. So we're out here in a totally different area. I've only fished this spot a handful of times and I haven't hit it yet this year. But I'm hoping we're able to pull off a few bass, and I'd be happy with a few. Anything more than a few would be a really, really awesome day. My hopes aren't too high. The bite's been tough, but we'll see what we can do today. I brought a ton of lures, just really trying to figure out what they're going to be eating, if they're going to be eating. Almost have to sneak attack these little pools out here, see if anything's chilling in them. I imagine they warm up pretty quickly. They're surprisingly deep. I brought a little bit of everything today, so we'll kind of work into what they're eating. Before I even get started in this area that I think is gonna be kind of our good spot to pull them out of, we're gonna sneak over here, throw some covert casts and see if anything's chilling in this little pool. There's a bunch of these little kind of pool type pondish areas in this location. It's looking pretty dormant. Oh, that's a fish. I take it back, man. Okay, so that's a really good sign. It's not too small either. I was expecting some smaller ones in there. Largemouth. Am I recording? Awesome. All right, our first fish of the day. Little largemouth. A little on the skinny side, but she still looks pretty healthy. We're going to release her over here. I'm going to grab my other camera in case we can get any more fish to bite in this area. This is a really good sign, though. There we go. I was on the Swimming Super Fluke Junior. I'm kind of pulling out all the stops today. I brought a boatload of tackle. I typically don't bring as much fishing tackle as I brought with me today, but I just had a couple tough days. I really wanted to catch some fish, so willing to try anything today. I thought that this kind of pool area would warm up in a hurry. A nicer fish. Awesome, man. Well, there we go, guys. Second fish of the day, and I think our third cast, a back fish. So let's see if we can pull another one. Last time I was here, I had similar results, so I think I know a couple areas that might be hitting. I'm gonna let you go over here. Thank you so much for biting. This is like already a better day than my last couple. There she goes. All right, so now we're gonna start breaking down the river. Starting right here, I've had luck in this area in the past. I'm not seeing a lot of good indication that there's bait in the water, so there's a good chance after a few casts, we're gonna start kind of skirting the river. There's a couple other little pond type things similar to this we can hit, and another spot altogether not too far away from here that I do want to touch down on today if time allows, I guess, if we're not just all out catching a ton of fish here. So great start already. I'm hoping we can get some bigger fish on though.
kind of mentioned, Decembers can be absolutely amazing. Fishing wise, I have logs from years ago, even last year, where I was catching nice big bass. You know, a lot of bass this time of year, but they can be, oh, there's a good fish, incredibly tough too. All right, we're off to a good start, guys. Old flipperoo. This is already a better day than I've had like my last 2 fishing days combined, so I'll pop this out with some pliers. Got him skin hooked. Little fella, but I am super duper thankful. I'll take a numbers day today. I'm all about it. I gotta oil these pliers up, man. Dear Lord. There we go. Beautiful fish, man. A cold fellow. Dude, this dude is ice cold, man. And our water is just absolutely frigid right now, but thanks for biting, my friend. I appreciate it. I think maybe if I keep complaining about how tough the bite's been, it'll keep getting better today. Funny how things work that way. Hey, that's a nicer one. That's a good fish. Yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you. That's a nice largie. Freaking music to my ears, man. So they're easy, buddy. They're in here. They're in this like tiny little body of water right now. I'm trying to be quiet. I don't want to spook them all. I mean, that's a nice fish, dude. She's decent. Well, there we go, guys. That's a decent one out of that little pond area. I mean, she looks healthy. You're a little on the skinny side, but not bad looking. We're gonna continue to fish that area. I don't know how many fish could possibly be in there. I missed one earlier. I've caught 3 out of there now. Last time I was here, I think I caught around that many, but none of them were quite this size. This area is so huge, there's no way I could cover all of the good spots, all the juicy looking areas today, but we're gonna hit the ones that really stand out to me. Okay, so our tail was curled up. Could mean 2 things. Either I banged it off something and it ended up doing that, or we got a nip. We're on right off that structure there. Oh, smallie. Awesome, man. Whoa, second species of the day. Oh, you're frigid, brother. So what an absolutely gorgeous smallmouth, healthy too. Now I have caught these fish out of this area before. Never in this spot in particular. I actually really haven't fished a lot of this river. Thanks for biting. Whoa, aggressive. He was hanging out right kind of down here by this timber, so that's a really, really good sign for me. Throw a couple more casts out here. I think I might have to put a little more time into this area than I had initially planned for today. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I had a great time making this one, as always. If you did enjoy the content, consider dropping a like, subscribing. It really does help push the channel. Now let's get into these lures. So we'll start out with that Bill Lewis rattle trap, the first lure to catch a fish and the biggest fish of the video. Now the Bill Lewis rattle trap is an iconic lipless crankbait. All around stellar lipless crankbait, and the self-proclaimed first lipless crankbait ever invented, but that's a story for another time. I dove down that rabbit hole and came up with some really interesting stuff. We'll save that for another video though. All around great bait. It's got a great action to it. I chose that 1/2 ounce size as well as its color due to it being on sale, but it got the job done. It absolutely kicks. I mean, excellent action right there. You got some beans in there. It's quite a rattle. And we got outstanding terminal tackle rigged up on this bait. So what I'm about to say is going to be somewhat controversial, but keep in mind that when I first got into fishing lipless crankbaits, I probably spent a year exclusively fishing the rattle trap. However, I started moving on to different liplesses throughout, you know, as I evolved into an angler, as my budget started running lower and lower for tackle, I started getting pushed in the direction of the old Super Spot, one of my favorite lipless crankbaits. I will say this is my favorite. I'm gonna tell you why. So I haven't fished a actual rattle trap in a while. When I took it out to make this video, I thought it would perform maybe even better than the Super Spot, and I caught a lot of fish out of that area on the Super Spot. And what we're working with in that area is 8 feet deep tops from the bank. That's what I can hit, and I know that from shouting out at boats, asking them the max depth, that sort of thing. The average depth of that area is about 5 feet deep, so we were working probably 3 to 5 feet in depth. So ideally, I'd say a 1/4 ounce size lipless probably would have been the ideal choice. However, with that old Super Spot, man, the 1/2 ounce size, I caught a ton of decent bass out of there. I'll tell you, the one difference I really noticed between these two baits was that this bad boy sank like an absolute brick. Now this could be a good thing in many instances, that very fast fall rate, and it stayed down there, man. I was ripping my reel, man, and I think I had it was a 7 point something, like a 7.1 or 7.2, so I was just cranking that bad boy, and I gotta say, man, it was hard for me to get this bait to rise. I had to raise my rod tip, do that sort of thing, because I kept dragging dirt, I kept coming up with leaves. Majority of my cast was like that. Now I don't run into that issue with this bait. So I gotta say, I think that the Cordell Super Spot, at least in my opinion, is a far superior bait for bank anglers. So I tried to look into this. I tried to see why is this bait sinking so badly, you know, and just from picking these both up, I realized that this one was a lot heavier. Now they both are marketed at a 1/2 ounce size, but when I threw it on the scale, I came up with over 16.5 grams. Now I totally get it. Obviously the terminal weighs something, and they're gonna wanna round up or down to a sellable number, something that all anglers can understand, like a 1/2 ounce. I totally get it. No harm, no foul. I'm not saying I've been lied to or anything crazy like that. However, I threw the Cordell on the scale as well, and well, I'll show y'all exactly what I came up with. So obviously this is a lot closer to a 1/2 ounce, and it weighs, you know, considerably less than the rattle trap. So all around, I will say this bait is a lot more aerodynamic. And this one, it just seems like it has a bit more plastic, like there's a bit more room for air to be trapped in there. All around, I guess what I'm trying to say is I enjoy the Super Spot a lot more because I feel like I have more control of it in the water when I am fishing a shallow body of water. For example, fishing from the bank, I'm able to really control the placement of that lure a lot better with my reel turn. And for me, it's a lot easier to reel somewhat slower and keep that bait lower in the water column rather than just all out heavy sweating, cranking, you know, the rattle trap, trying to keep it afloat without snagging up a ton of leaves and whatnot. But great bait, man. I'm not trying to talk bad about the rattle trap at all. That would be insane. Obviously, it's an absolutely stellar bait. I'm just saying something, food for thought, man. Maybe the Cordell is a better lure for bank anglers. I think if they upgraded the hooks on these bad Mammola Jamlas, they could maybe take that throne there. Now that's crazy. So moving on to the other bait fished in this video. That Swimming Super Fluke Jr., probably one of the best paddle tails of all time. Zoom just gets it right with this bait. Weighs in at roughly 4.5 grams. You throw that 1/4 ounce jig head I like to use in there, and you're sitting somewhere around 10.8 grams. Now, great bait right here. If you're unfamiliar with how to rig it, you're simply gonna stick your jig head right through the nose. You're gonna get it right up around that bend and pop it through the back, fixing it on that head, and you'll have something like this. Great bait, man, can't complain. Fantastic plastic. I use this bait all the time. A very reasonably priced paddle tail as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I had a great time making this one. As always, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and I hope y'all get some good fish on, my friends. Peace.